So far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh god, I suppose you should.
What's that?
what's going on?
Why is the lights dim?
I don't know.
Did a bulb go out?
Look, guys, everything's fine.
Did you pay the light bill?
There's no problem here.
Yeah.
Look,
I paid
we're
the bill.
live and it's a little darker, man, so they can't see it that well. You wanna check the fuse?
No, what? What's going on? Guys. Guys?
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Okay,
I thought you said it was security.
What's going on? Can you check? What's this called? The spectrometer?
T.G.A meter.
Oh boy.
Oh, what's going on?
Does that mean that there's something wrong here?
Something.
When it lifts?
Yep.
Actually, yeah, we'll lift it up a little.
It's over
I
there.
hope it's not me.
Ah!
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
World,
Hey, the lights, guys, seriously! Check the fuse!
So hey guys, welcome back to the Gamers Addict Show. I am here with Captain Bogy, and are you guys ready for Bogy's Corner?
Alright, how you guys doing? Today, October 27th, a few days away from actual Halloween, but this Halloween episode is very special. And thank you very much, Player One, for these awesome costumes here. You know, we definitely...
Costumes?
Oh,
What are
no,
you talking about?
not costumes, these are original gear. Uniforms.
Yeah.
Okay. And thank you, I apologize. Alright. So, there's your boy Captain Bogy, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, and video game fanatics. Welcome to Bogy's Corner! Alright, so today what I will be talking about is my top 10 scariest video games.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now, I did a lot of research on this. I've experienced a few of them. Now, my top pick, of course, is one that I definitely talked about here a long time ago on Bogy's Corner. So, what is Bogy's Corner about? If you're curious, your first time watching, and if you haven't seen any of the other episodes, go ahead and rewind. Go there on the Gamers Addict Show on YouTube and check out all the episodes that we've done so far.
It's not a corner where you hang out and play with dice and bet money.
That was a long time ago, back in New York. I see we got another New Yorker here, buddy. All right, so I'm a casual video gamer. Now, compared to these guys, I mean, they really play a lot of the hot stuff all their life. I mean, I've picked up on video games here and there, so I've been able to share those. My console is the Atari 2600. Who experienced that?
Wow,
Atari
yeah.
2600.
Very well.
Listen, at that point in time, that was the latest in technology, and you know, everybody got to have it. Now, my first video game that I played was Pac-Man. The craze, yes, I was in it. So some of the video games that I've covered here on Bogy's Corner: Pac-Man, Metal Gear Solid, Max Payne, Minecraft, Donkey Kong, Resident Evil 2, Driver 2 in the last episode, and of course this time I'm going to be doing top 10 scariest video games. All right. So, some details about this. For the scary video games from the 80s forward, the genre, of course, horror. The platforms, including all platforms, including PC. And of course, there's single player, multiplayer, and it's just worldwide. Now, let's talk about some key words in the horror genre. Evil, survival, trapped, disappear, dangerous,
Wow.
infected. Am I scaring you guys?
Wow.
Back
I'm
in the
freaking
days.
out.
Darkness, secret, escape, dead, scared, fear. All of these are things that a gamer that has experienced a really good horror video game genre has experienced. Thumbs up?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I thought it was something for me. Mega Man, you're too fast.
It was a ghost.
All right.
It was a ghost.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with my top 10. Now, I'm going to break it down because, you know, there's certain allotment of time I have here. I'm going to go from number 10 to number 6, just backwards. And I'm not gonna talk much about those, but I am gonna break down 5, 4, 3, 2, and my number one choice. So
man, not to interrupt, but
yeah.
Daniel Pedraza says Slender Man.
Slenderman, yeah. Slenderman is one that has been up there. Unfortunately, it's not in my top 10 list. But yeah, I mean that one, that video game did come up a few times in my research, and that one was something that scared a lot of people.
Yeah.
So let's start off with number 10.
Number 10.
System Shock 2. I don't know if many of you have played here.
No.
System Shock 2.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Doom 3. Number 9. Doom 3.
Well, may I say System Shock 2 is on what console? Do you know?
No.
You don't know, but it's a.
I'm really not going to expand on too many of these here,
Okay.
but starting off with 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Interesting.
On my number 8, got Fatal Frame.
Yeah. That was.
Oh, that was good. That's
Yeah.
a really good game. It's scary.
Number 7, Condemned. Criminal Origins.
That's.
Have you guys heard of that one?
I played that
Yes,
one.
I
I played that one.
Okay. Number 6, Dead Space.
Oh yeah.
And that was kind of hard, you know, that was
Yeah.
borderline for me. It did have a lot of great reviews and ratings, but Dead Space is number 6 on this list. So now let's get into the nitty gritty. But before we go into number 5, got a question for you guys here. So give me a few words that come to mind when you think of horror game. Few words.
Can I get the answer?
There's no answer here because it has to come from you.
When I think about horror games,
A
I
few
think
words.
gore,
Okay.
suspense.
Okay. One more.
I guess. Yeah, paranormal maybe.
Paranormal. All right.
Paranormal.
All right. So what words come to mind when you think of a good horror
A
game?
good horror game. Let me see. Not big into jump scares, especially when you know when they are. But it's gotta feel like you're all alone in the game. You're like,
Okay.
you know, there's something could just pop up at any time. But
Yeah.
you know, like really scary.
Okay.
Sometimes also creepiness about it. A horror game.
Creepiness.
So,
I like that.
yeah.
And one more
and
term that
what
you
else?
would use.
Daniel says-
probably a good story. I mean, you know, besides
Good
a good story in the
Yeah.
game because it's gonna keep you going and want to
Gotta
see
keep you into
what you're
it.
gonna be doing next. What's gonna happen, and you know, it may have a
Okay.
twist or something. But yeah,
Nice. All right. One man band. So what comes to mind? What words? for a good horror game.
I'd say gloomy atmosphere.
Ooh. Yeah.
Like the music, like ominous music. You know.
That's a huge part. Not many of
Yes.
us think about it, and probably sometimes because the music is so well done for the video game. But aside from the visual, the movement of it, the storyline, if the music or the sound effects are not there, it'll be crappy. So I like that.
Yeah.
And one more.
Then I'd have to say overall progression, like he said. You
Okay.
know, the storyline has gotta push through, and you know, it's gotta make sense.
Sure.
So it can captivate you. You know?
Nice.
So,
I'm sorry. One more thing. When you said the music, also sometimes in some games they'll have the music off for the reason of the
Right.
ambient sounds. Also,
Okay.
the whole atmosphere.
yeah, certain games that have like a wind effect, that you know, where you're
Yeah,
like maybe
yeah.
like a cemetery or something like that. You know, that's really.
Well, Daniel
Sound
Pedraza
background.
says blood, gore, guts.
Ah. Wow.
Wow.
Psychiatrist is my word for you. All right, so number 5 on my list is the video game Outlast. Anybody play that one?
I know, I've heard of it.
So here's some details. Released September 4th, 2013 on Microsoft Windows. The player can see the environment and other enemies in the dark by using night vision on their camcorder. So just imagine using this you're playing this video game, and really to see the evils out there, you have to use this night vision.
Like Batman.
Cool.
There, yeah. Now, generally, it received positive reviews from critics with praise for its atmosphere, which is very important. And part of the story is it's a freelance investigative journalist, Miles Upshur, receive an anonymous email that inhumane experiments being conducted in an asylum by a private psychiatric hospital. So this guy goes in there, and you can just imagine how horrific that game must be.
Kind of like here earlier today.
Yeah. If you guys didn't catch my live, we were experiencing some bad things out here in Hialeah.
We even had humans think that
Yeah, we look good. We look good out there.
Yeah, we
yes.
do.
Actually, there's a game similar to that, like about what do you call it? Like a insane asylum called Scariest. That I played
Okay.
back then in the PC. It was kind of cool. It was supposed to be a type of horror game.
Nice.
You know, and there were some other ones. There were some other ones that they had back then, like Phantasmagoria.
Well, I'm going to be asking some
Oh, sorry, go
favorites
ahead,
from each one of you a little later on.
Keep 93 says, who's excited for the RE2 reboot? Resident
No
Evil 2?
question. No question.
Yes, and if you
Yeah.
watch one of our Bogies Corners, we had footage of the new
Yes.
video game coming out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
Great.
All right, so before getting to number 4, question for my panel: what is the best way to play horror games? So let's talk about what the room that you have, the lighting, the hey kids, don't bother me for an hour.
Yeah.
You know what is the environment that is best to play a horror game? So player 1.
In the dark in my Scooby-Doo underwears.
Next.
Same thing, but different type of underwear. But I will say that you have to raise if it's a newer game, you're gonna raise the volume up, have the bass going, because you're gonna feel that.
Nice.
You know?
Yeah, so the sound, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Since-
So what would be your environment, your best scenario?
Since my original 2 answers were taken already, I'm gonna actually say
Scooby-Doo underwear?
yeah, I kind of
Wow.
you
I
took
thought
it
you
from
were
me.
too.
Maybe I need
Yeah,
to
well,
get a pair.
yeah, you took it from me. But anyways, I would say now, especially with all the technology that we have, playing at night, of course, wearing your headphones, maybe with a surround sound
that would be
experience,
better, yeah.
and also if you can do it. I played Resident Evil 7 on the VR.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Smart.
There's no way that you can like turn away
Yeah.
because it goes with you in the perspective. So no matter what happens, you're gonna see what's happening. So if it's a game that's VR enabled, play it.
Oh,
nice.
You'll have fun.
VR enabled. You want to give me a heart attack, man?
I'm telling you.
Damn. All right. So coming in at number 4, Eternal Darkness: Sanity's Requiem. Any of you guys play
Yeah.
that one?
Yeah,
yeah.
I've just dabbled in it a little bit.
All right,
Heard
so
of it,
released June 24th, 2002 on the GameCube. It's a psychological horror adventure video game, multiplayer paths,
Okay.
and part of the storyline. It's conducted in the third-person perspective, and many of the cameras are designed to remain focused on the player's character that cannot be controlled. While gameplay operates on similar styles that are like Resident Evil, fighting monsters with various weapons and solving puzzles. So that's what this game here is about, Eternal Darkness at number 4. All right, so next question here for my panel before getting to number 3.
I'm
So
excited.
what excites you about horror games? Okay, and not just anyone can stomach playing a horror game. I mean you have to be able to stomach it. But what excites you about playing horror games? Player 1.
I think, like mentioned before, the story
Okay, story.
has to be really good.
Okay.
The suspense. I mean, that's what, for me, like, it would have to be like the story.
Cool.
Because there's certain games that I follow, and if I don't know about it, I probably won't play it. So, like, horror-wise, I follow Silent Hill, I follow Resident Evil. Like these games you're mentioning, I'm interested now. Like, a lot of them I haven't heard of them, so.
Cool.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
So what excites you about playing a horror game?
Like most people, they want to get scared. So you're play to get scared.
A little
those
sick,
elements.
but
Yeah, that also if you're into gore, a lot of craziness.
yeah.
It depends if you're into zombies or into aliens or supernatural type stuff.
Exactly.
That's what you're into. Those are the type of games you gravitate to. That's what you want to experience.
A lot of
that type
choices
stuff.
out
So,
there.
yeah.
All right, one-man band. So what excites you?
For me, the unknown. You know,
Okay.
you not knowing what's next, lying ahead. So you go into with a little bit of trepidation, like, okay, what's gonna happen next? Like, I don't want to do it, but I do. So let's just do it. And then you gotta get like a jump scare or maybe some kind of a plot twist, and
Sure.
that's always fun. I love that. I love.
And I think
games for that.
for myself is the video game where you're turning the corner
Yeah, there you go.
and you have no freaking
That's
idea what's about to happen.
Pretty much.
Pop
that's-
out.
For you, everything is the corner.
Yes. Very well put. So coming in at number 3.
Before you go,
Yes.
I have some
Before I go, I'm not
some
leaving
comments.
nowhere.
Well, I have some comments.
Oh,
Somebody
yes,
says,
comments. Let's talk.
I got Keyblade. He says he likes to play in a dark room with surround sound
Nice.
and your buddy to scare you at all parts to bring realism.
Okay.
Okay. And then he says, Bryan Hess says, he plays horror games with Megadeth playing in the background.
Nice.
Because
Wow.
like
he says
that.
they will change your life.
Yeah, I agree with that one. That's good.
Yeah.
Gets you
Little
to
Megadeth.
Yeah, Megadeth makes everything better.
Nice.
I will give it that.
Very nice.
All right. So coming in at number 3, Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Any of you guys play that one?
You know what?
I heard of it, but not played it.
Okay.
This is the game that we talked about on one of our Gamers Attic episodes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this one was released September 8th, 2010 on Microsoft Windows, Mac OS X, and Linux. So it's a survival horror video game. And part of the storyline is in 1839, a young man named Daniel from London awakens in the dark in the empty halls of Prussian castle with little to no memory about himself or his past. All he can remember is his name and that he lives in Mayfair and that something is hunting him down.
Wow, it sounds like Player One story.
Yeah.
Did they copyright?
You live in Hialeah, right? Yeah, that's every day for you.
What is Hialeah?
All right. So, before we get into number 2, question for my panel here. What horror characters have scared you the most? There are some very scary ones out there, so from many different video games. So player 1, what would you say is your most horrific character that you've dealt with?
From a video game?
Yes.
I've had scares.
Some of those
where I
bosses.
played and something's popped out. Okay, I have one, guys. Nintendo. Friday the 13th. Okay, for a Nintendo. You're walking around. At any time, Jason can come out after you. It's kind of, and it's like you just don't know.
Like the movie.
Yeah. You'll hear the sound, shoo, 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 and he comes out and he's attacking you. That gave me scares.
I remember that.
You could take a
And this is an
freaking
8-bit game.
Yeah.
you could take a freaking plane to China, then a boat to Russia, and he'll be there waiting for you.
And and even the new Friday the 13th game.
Yeah.
I've
cool.
had some
Like
scares
that.
with that too.
All right. One of the scariest villains, bosses, characters that you would say really
You know,
scared you.
I really can't think of one. I'm trying to think of one, but I can't think of one.
Okay.
I know the Stay Puft Marshmallow.
Oh, let's not go there. Come on. The psychologist said he's cured now.
Yeah,
Okay.
leave him alone.
All right. So how about one man band?
Maybe the scariest, but the most memorable one for me was Nemesis from Resident Evil 3. You know, when
Oh yes.
in the scene where you're inside the academy, or it's not even the academy, the police station, and you're going into the conference room. Right on that hallway, you're going in and nothing's happened. You're like, oh, okay, great, I'm free. And then when you go into the conference room and then you come back out, and right when you start running, the Nemesis just plows through that wall. And
Nice.
whoa, you gotta start running. Like I remember the first time I was like, oh, come on, I gotta get out of here. I was like 13, 14, and that scared me. That was a pretty big suspense for me.
Yeah, because he's running
Like,
after you
he's
throughout the
fast.
whole game.
He is
yeah.
fast.
Yeah,
Wow.
he is fast.
And you can't really fight him until
That's
like
terrible.
way later on in the game. Yeah.
That makes you feel defensive.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Why the
that's
hell I bought these video games?
You
can
kind
make
of,
these
yeah. I was like,
characters
what am I
fast.
doing? But it was
Well,
a great game.
I
Well,
can't say this. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I always,
It's okay.
but I remember the first time I actually played Resident Evil was the first time I actually got scared with something. We were walking down that hall, and then the dogs just jumped right through the window.
Oh,
That was the first
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Agreed.
showing my brother that. After seeing it, I go, yeah, my brother played this game. So when he did it, he just screamed like a girl. I was like, ah! I was like, it's so funny, man. I was like, yeah, see.
Just to piggyback on that, and actually I believe is around the same scene when all of a sudden this slitherer, you're passing by, you're looking at the window, slitherer just passes right by.
Yeah.
That and you know, I was playing dark room all by myself. Everybody was asleep in the house, and when that thing passed by, you know, the window, that kind of, what the heck was that? And you know, this is a video game. It's not like real life. So,
Hey, listen, Bryan
Yeah.
Hess says, tell me Silent Hill made the list.
wow, Bryan Hess, you must you know, have some mental powers here, because at number 2 we have Silent Hill 2. Now this one released September 24, 2001, PlayStation, Xbox, Microsoft Windows. Now Silent Hill received critical acclaim coming out, and within a month of being released, sold over 1 million copies. Any of you guys play that one?
No.
Silent
Yes.
Hill 2?
I played two.
Yeah,
I played one and
no.
two, yeah.
1 and 2.
I actually have a sealed copy of Silent Hill 2.
Wow.
Is that how scared you are?
I don't want to.
Oh, well, you might want to talk to Mr. Hess because it looks like he's played it. So, part of the story here is there's the town. Time?
Time.
Time.
What? Well, time.
Time?
Yeah, time.
Time?
Time.
All right, so part of this is storyline here. And where are we here? Okay, is the town draws upon psyche of its visitors, ultimately forming alternate versions of the town, which differ depending on the characters. Now, the concept behind the town was a small rural town in America, making the setting more realistic and some buildings and rooms like in furnishings. So you guys definitely need to check that one out. So, we have time, or I got a speed talk here?
No, let's just we'll speak.
All right, so before we get to number 1 on Bogy's 10 scariest video games, question for my panel. So what would you say is your top 2 horror games of all time that you've played? Or 1, 2 that has stood out?
I would say for me, player 1 would be the Resident Evil games.
Okay.
And
why?
I really enjoy them all. The story is great. I love following the characters, the way it plays. It's just and the replay value of the games. You can replay them again.
I like that.
With the upgraded weapons, and it has extra stories. On top, another game that I really do enjoy is the Friday the 13th game that came out. I've been playing that extensively because I'm a big fan of the movies, and it's just like that. So, yeah.
Cool.
Alright.
What would you say your top video games?
Again, for memory reasons, I have a lot of old ones. Again, Resident Evil 1. It was the first, well, it wasn't the first horror game I played, but it was the first one that really scared you. And it was the first time I ever played a horror game that really got you like, oh my god, what's gonna happen next? It's gonna do this, and like the zombies coming at you, and the cinemas that they showed, it wasn't like live. Like the other game that I want to mention now is like I mentioned before, Phantasmagoria. That was actually the first horror game, besides maybe Friday the 13th for Nintendo, that I actually played. It was more gory than anything else. It was like full motion video. And even at the end of the game, when the main character, when she messes up, running away from the weird, huge creature, he literally goes in the scene when she dies. He literally puts his fingers in her eyes, both eyes, puts it in her mouth, and splits her head wide open.
Ew.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Like that one.
I think I would have kept that wrapped up also, like that video game you have wrapped up. You haven't opened it up. All right, so one-man band.
For me, it's got to be Resident Evil 3. I mean, I love Resident Evil 2, but 3 just held a little bit more memory for me. Like it had, like I said, the scene with the Nemesis and all that. The Last of Us. Even though it is a horror, but it has its suspense moments to it. But you figure a town that has, it's all desolate and destroyed from an infection of a virus of sorts, or spores rather, and people are dying off left and right, and what's left are clickers. They grab you, you're dead.
What's a clicker?
It's kind of like a licker, but like they can't see anything. They hear, and if you make a sound, they hear and they just run at you, and if they grab you, you're done.
So you pass gas, you're done.
You're done, pretty much. And the other one,
hold it in.
The other one, it's a funny game, but it's from the Super Nintendo era. But it does have its moments of scare. Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Yes, I remember that.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Even though it's funny, it's a funny game. But there are moments in that game where you're like, you have to save people, and if a certain amount of people get eaten, game over. And that game is like 48 levels, if I remember right. And it can, your palms get sweaty and crazy, especially if you're playing with a friend. Like, go here, and just a great game. I recommend that game if you have never played it.
All right, so here we are coming down to our number 1 video game on my top 10 list. Again, a quick recap. We have number 10, System Shock. Number 9, Doom 3. Number 8, Fatal Frame. Number 7, Condemned: Criminal Origins. Number 6, Dead Space. Number 5, Outlast. Number 4, Eternal Darkness: Sanity's Requiem. Number 3, Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Number 2, one of Hess's favorite, Silent Hill 2. And it sounds like you want to say something. Go ahead.
Hess says Hubert scared the crap out of him the first time he fell off on the side.
Oh, hey, let's not laugh at that. Yeah, I mean, you got all these triangles and you kind of fall off. It's like, oh my god, my character, where'd he go? All right, so coming in at number 1. Can I get a drum roll? Resident Evil 2. Yes, and this is one that I covered in one of Bogy's Corners episode. So released January 21st, 1998. The genre survival horror. So it's not only horror, it's action horror, first person. Often credited for defining the survival horror genre. Hailed as one of the greatest video games of all time. So, you know, it depends on your life and where you want.
I got a comment here that says, Jerry the Wizard is pretty scary.
And that is my number 0 choice. Yeah, but we can't talk about that one here. All right. Its success will spawn multimedia franchise, including video games, films, comics, novels, merchandise. Huge. Storyline, September 29, 1998. 2 months after the events of the original Resident Evil. Most citizens of Raccoon City have been transformed into zombies because of the T virus. Biological weapons secretly developed by the pharmaceutical company
Umbrella.
Those guys are evil. The characters, Leon Kennedy, Claire Redfield, must escape Raccoon City. And if you haven't played that one, go ahead and pick up a copy, look for it in GamerStop and all these other different places. So that is my number 1 choice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's come to the point that Bogy's Corner has finished this last episode. Again, the top 10 scariest video games for my list. So thank you guys very much again for listening, and stay tuned for the next one. So again, this is your boy Captain Bogy here on Bogy's Corner.
Yeah. No, not that one.
Say.
No, see, game over.